Light is Britain's far-right conspiracy theory paper spreading hate and vicious lies. No, that's what BBC say. The Light is the only national newspaper bringing you the real news and informed opinion on what's really going on today. You can subscribe, order copies, submit articles, and read back issues on our website, thelightpaper.co.uk, and see for yourself why the establishment are so worried about the uncensored truth getting out to people every month. The Light Paper. Not far right, just right so far. thelightpaper.co.uk.
Scene script. Have you ever pondered the idea of financial independence and early retirement? The notion of not having to clock in at 9 or wrestle with the daily grind? Imagine a life where you're not shackled by financial obligations or a demanding job. It's not an impossible dream, but a reality for those who embrace the FIRE movement. That's financial independence, retire early. Consider the tale of Jane, a woman in her early 30s. Jane was an ordinary person living an ordinary life. She had a 9-to-5 job, a mortgage, car payments, and a lifestyle that was comfortable but hardly extravagant. And like most people, she dreamed of a life where she didn't have to worry about money. Jane decided to make a change. She began by cutting back on non-essential expenses, saving as much of her income as possible. She invested wisely, focusing on assets that generated passive income that didn't require her to trade time for money. Slowly but surely, Jane began to build her financial independence. She was still working, but she was no longer living paycheck to paycheck. She had a safety net, a cushion that gave her the freedom to make choices based on what she wanted, not what she needed. Fast forward 10 years, Jane, now in her early 40s, had achieved her goal. She was financially independent. She had enough passive income to cover her living expenses, and she no longer needed to work to survive. She was free to retire early, to spend her time as she pleased. Jane's story may seem extraordinary, but it's not unique. It's the story of anyone who has embraced the principles of the FIRE movement. It's a tale of discipline, of sacrifice, and of a relentless pursuit of financial independence. To summarize, the key points discussed today revolve around the idea of financial independence and early retirement. It requires discipline and sacrifice, cutting back on non-essential expenses and saving as much as possible. It involves investing wisely, focusing on assets that generate passive income. But most importantly, it requires a change in mindset. It's about seeing money not as a means to buy things, but as a tool to buy freedom. It's about understanding the true value of time and the freedom that comes with not having to trade it for money. This is the essence of the FIRE movement. It's not just about retiring early, it's about achieving financial independence, about gaining the freedom to live life on your own terms. Like Jane, you too can embrace the principles of the FIRE movement and embark on a journey towards financial independence and early retirement. After all, the only thing standing between you and your financial freedom is you.
Ever wondered how much you'd need to save to achieve financial independence? The answer lies within the mathematics of a concept known as FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. The most essential number in your journey to financial independence is calculated by multiplying your annual spend by 25. Notice the emphasis on annual spend, not annual income. This calculation is based on the principle that you need £300 invested for every pound you wish to spend each month in passive income. Hence, your FIRE number is also your monthly spend times 300. This mathematical principle is founded on the 4% safe withdrawal rate, as defined by financial advisor William Bengen. He proposed this rate after analyzing the S&P 500, which typically produces an average of better than 10% growth per year when studied over a period of approximately 30 years. Bengen considered factors such as inflation and market volatility. After studying previous market activity, he concluded that a 4% rate of withdrawal per year would provide for a 30-year sustainable portfolio in the vast majority of cases. So to paint a clearer picture, if your monthly spend is £1,000, then your target for financial independence is 300 times 1,000, or £300,000. Alternatively, if your annual spend is £12,000, your financial independence target is 25 times 12,000, which also equates to £300,000. The first step in planning your financial independence, therefore, lies in understanding your monthly and yearly expenditure. Without this knowledge, it is impossible to take further strides towards your financial freedom. In summary, the mathematics of FIRE revolves around the principle of multiplying your annual spend by 25 or your monthly spend by 300 based on the 4% safe withdrawal rate. Knowing your monthly and annual spend is crucial in determining the amount you need to save to achieve financial independence. Armed with this knowledge, you can then plan your journey towards financial freedom. Remember, the journey to financial independence is not a sprint, but a marathon. Embrace the mathematics of FIRE and take the first step towards your financial independence today.
Guys, good morning. It is 8:50 on Monday the 3rd of March 2025. That means we have 2 years and 48 weeks completed in this roughly 8-year FIRE journey. Let's have a quick look and see what the market is doing. Currently the price sitting at 89.87. That's a rise of 1.3% for today. And if we look further down, apart from the portfolio itself, I was just noticing as I was waiting for the introduction to complete, £93 was the highest for the last rolling 52 weeks. We're not a kicking the backside off £100 there, as you could almost conclude, if you wanted a ready reckoner, that each pound is roughly 1%. So, on that basis, with 93 having been the highest, we're now sitting at 89. You could say we've lost roughly 3%, 4% from the highest point. And actually that is pretty much borne out if you look at the figures. So 260 shares in the account worth 23,300, and a return on investment now sitting at 28.2%. Now previously that had been over 30. So that, as I say, that kind of bears out what I'm saying about the every pound in value being worth roughly 1%. At this point in time, it's not exactly, it's just a very ready reckoner way of being able to estimate things at a quick glance. But as I say, the market up 1.3% today, the index, up 1.3%, and that is indicative of basically putting back some of the value that had been lost. I suppose it was really last week. If we zoom in a bit, we might see that, but not really. We're at too much of a far away scale to see the rise, but basically the red dotted line is where things are at right now, and obviously at some point it was somewhere at the bottom of that red candlestick there. So with that said, let me just draw your attention to Monzo.
I want a bank that makes money easy.
That sounds perfectly reasonable.
And you are?
We're a bank called Monzo.
Oh.
I want a bank that shows me what I spend instantly.
No problem, just give us a go. See?
Can you make splitting bills easy?
Super easy, check this out.
But it's a real faff to sign up.
It takes less than 10 minutes.
Race you.
You're on.
Can I talk to a real person 24/7?
Of course.
Even now?
Yep.
Even now?
Anytime.
Can you tell me when I'm running a little low on cash?
We certainly can.
Cool. Can I afford these?
You certainly can't, sorry. Can't afford that either.
That's a real shame.
Not really. Time's up. How'd you get on?
It's a draw.
Can you help me save for my next holiday?
Oh, how about you set up a savings pot in the Monzo app called Barbados, baby?
Thanks for listening, Monzo.
We're all ears.
We can go now.
Rude. You make Monzo Monzo.
Okay, so there is money to be made. You can find out more in the description for this video. So let's have a look at the notifications. There's not actually much to see here. So biggest stocks before earnings: Plug Power, Hut 8, Sunova Energy International, Ready Capital, and TG Therapeutics. Duolingo dives 19% amid rising costs and profitability concerns. That one surprised me a little bit, and I'm not really sure why they should be seeing their costs rising. Obviously, aside from that energy costs in particular are rising, but you know, Duolingo is an app. I suppose it does take processing power and power in general to run their servers to perhaps analyze the voice aspect of things to see whether your pronunciation is close enough to the target language. But that's an interesting one. Now I can kind of see how perhaps there's maybe a little bit less of a need for people to want to learn a second language properly these days, given just how advanced things like Google Translate have become. Google Translate and indeed DeepL are able to provide very good translations, interpretations almost, of foreign languages, and certainly DeepL I have found to be even better than Google Translate, although I don't believe they have a sort of a real-time functionality, which there is within the Google Translate app, and not to mention also the ability to translate images, text within images using OCR. So it's I suppose it's a field where there's perhaps greater competition in a sense than what there used to be. Learning a language takes time, it takes effort. Using an app, not so much. And as I say, the quality of the translations that you can get from apps are significantly better than what they used to be. They can be quite nuanced these days. So anyway, that's it for the notifications. The current average price sitting at £70.10. I'm going to estimate that whenever we put in our investment today, that's going to bring it to £70.21. Just based on that it usually goes up about 11 point something p, but the decimal after the 10 is a 2, so we'll just stick with the 11. We'll say £70.21 I'm expecting the average price to go to. Just observing, actually, the rise today is now fallen back slightly to 1.2% instead of 1.3%. Let's go ahead and put in our weekly £120 worth of value into the S&P 500 exchange traded fund. As you know, if you watch the channel, this is the Trading 212 practice platform that we are using, and as you can see, that's going to buy us roughly 1 1/3 shares this morning. I don't use any stop limits or anything like that, but I do try to put the trades through when the market is open. So it's a market buy. Although this is the practice platform, these figures are pretty close to what is happening in real life. I do use Trading 212 for my own portfolio. I just don't want to disclose where I'm at financially, and that's the reason for using the practice platform, as well as, of course, that the practice platform provides you with £50,000 to play with, and that's why it's going to be an 8-year experiment. So we did buy 1 1/3 shares. We got a price execution at £89.79, and the okay, I was wrong actually on the average purchase price. It has gone from £70.10 to £70.20, so just a rise of 10p this time rather than 11 that we had seen in the past. Maybe it's because of the pullback. We've been able to dollar cost average a little better than sometimes we might. Interesting. So that's pretty much it for today. As I say, what we're looking at there is normal market volatility. It's really no different to this part of the curve down here, where we saw a little bit of a pullback and then acceleration again toward newer and greater things. Guys, I think that is it for today. If you enjoyed watching the episode today, why not give it a thumbs up, and if you're interested in following the channel, just hit the subscribe button. And thanks for watching today. Have a great end to your Monday, and I'll be back next week with more. Bye for now.